The Mexican cartel kidnapped daughter of a wealthy man. It was normal in their ransom business to kidnap and kill, but not this time, as bodyguard of this little girl was the most feared former liquidator of the CIA. Welcome back to Paramount Recapped. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me. So, down in Mexico, life's not exactly peaceful. Someone's getting snatched off the street pretty much every hour. Rich folks don't take chances anymore. If they want their insurance to kick in if they or their kids get kidnapped, they gotta have a bodyguard on duty 24/7. It's like a grim safety rule. Enter John Creasy, a guy with a shady past and a bottle in his hand. He used to be a top-tier hitman for the CIA, but now he's just trying to drink his guilt away. Dude's haunted by the stuff he did back in the day. He shows up in Mexico to visit his old buddy Rayburn, who's doing just fine running a security biz there. Rayburn's all smiles, happy to see John again, and casually asks if he plans on sticking around. But John's the kind of guy who doesn't settle. Too much going on in that head of his. Meanwhile, we meet Samuel Ramos, a car manufacturer in Mexico City. His insurance folks told him he needs to have a bodyguard for his daughter, or the kidnapping policy won't stay valid. He had to let the old one go, and now he's in a rush to hire someone new before the whole insurance thing becomes useless. His family lawyer, Jordan, tells him to just get someone cheap and quick. He can always fire him after the paperwork clears. Rayburn hears about it and thinks, hey, John could totally do this. When he tells Creasy, John hesitates. He knows he's not in great shape, too much booze, not enough charm. But Rayburn shrugs it off. He says even a half-broken Creasy is still more lethal than most. He also mentions Samuel might be dealing with some shady stuff and could use a serious pro. So John dusts himself off and meets with Samuel. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. Straight up says he drinks, and if serious pros come for the kid, he'll try his best, but if it's just street punks, they're not walking away. Samuel actually digs his brutal honesty and tells him to just keep the drinking on the down low around his wife. Back at the fancy Ramos home, John gets introduced to Lisa, Samuel's wife. She's an American too, from Texas. They connect on that foreigner in Mexico level. She even offers him a drink, which of course he accepts. She tells her daughter Peta to show John around. The kid's energetic and sweet, full of questions. Lisa feels relaxed having another American around, and everything seems fine on the surface. That night though, John's demons creep back in. He drinks alone, fiddles with his gun, looking like he's on the edge. The next morning, he shakes it off, figures out the route to Peta's school, and drives her over. She's talkative, too talkative for him, asking all sorts of questions, and he's clearly not used to it. He stays polite enough and drops her off, but on the way back she keeps yapping, and he finally snaps, telling her zip it. She gets all quiet and slides to the back seat, hurt. At home, Lisa checks in on John and gently explains that Peta is just trying to be friendly. But John coldly reminds her he's not there to be anyone's friend, just a bodyguard. Lisa gets the hint and backs off. That night, the bottle wins again. John gets wasted and tries to off himself, but the gun jams or something and the shot never goes off. He calls Rayburn like, hey, why wouldn't a solid 9mm fire? Rayburn gets it immediately, tells him straight, bullets don't lie. And something clicks in John. The next day, something changes. John decides he's going to take this job seriously. When he notices a suspicious car tailing them during a ride with Lisa and Peta, he notes the license plate. Turns out to be a false alarm, but still, the guy's finally switched on. At one of Peta's swim practices, John watches her struggle to keep up. She never places high and admits she's never won. He points out that her real problem is her slow start. Fix that, and she's got a shot. For the first time, there's this little moment between them. No awkwardness, just connection. With her parents out of town for a few days, John takes over more of Peta's daily stuff. He helps her face her fear of the starting gun at the pool, drills her swimming form, and even sits down to help with homework. She cracked a joke, and guess what? He smiles. Like for real. First time. As the swim meet gets closer, he pushes her harder, cheering her on. When Samuel and Lisa return, they bring her a dog as a reward. At the meet, all that training pays off. She wins first place, and they share a genuine hug. It's no longer just a job to John. He's bonded with her. Later, he brings her to lunch with Rayburn, and she surprises him with a little gift, a pennant she bought herself. John looks like he might tear up. That night, instead of reaching for the bottle, he picks up a Bible. Dude's changing. But then, chaos hits. He drops Peta at piano lessons the next day and is chilling outside with her dog when he notices something off. Cops blocking both ends of the street. That suspicious car from earlier shows up again. John's instincts go haywire. He tells Peta to run. Gunfire erupts. John gets hit multiple times, but still manages to take out 4 attackers before collapsing. Peta, too scared to leave him, is caught and dragged away while he lies bleeding. Somehow John survives, but the cops don't give him a hero's welcome. They accuse him of killing 2 officers and maybe even being in on the kidnapping. A reporter questions the official story, noting that the 2 dead cops weren't even supposed to be working that day. But her concerns get brushed aside. A huge manhunt kicks off to find Peta. Samuel's at home stressing, with Jordan telling him they'll handle the situation. Then a cop named Victor Fuentes from the Anti-Kidnapping Division shows up, flashing papers from the Attorney General and basically pushing his way into the case. Rayburn and an agent from the AFI, basically Mexican federal agents, sneak John out of the hospital and stash him in a vet clinic to keep him safe from corrupt cops. Meanwhile, Samuel gets a call from a creepy guy calling himself The Voice. He demands $10 million and warns that any funny business means Peta's gone for good. Shockingly, Samuel already has the cash ready to go. The drop is made. Samuel leaves the money in a random car trunk like instructed. But something goes horribly wrong. The kidnappers are ambushed during pickup, and one of them, apparently The Voice's nephew, is killed. Now furious, The Voice blames the Ramos family for the screw-up and tells them Peta's gone for good as punishment. Lisa tries begging him to reconsider, to have mercy, but The Voice is ice cold. He says it's too late, then cuts her off. Enraged, devastated, she kicks all the cops out of her house. After John starts healing up from the chaos, Rayburn drops a bombshell on him. Apparently, Peta didn't make it. The whole ransom handoff got screwed, and she ended up dead. That sends John straight into rage mode. A couple of cops swing by to talk to him and toss some photos on the table. John stares at one of the faces, clearly recognizes the guy, but doesn't say a word. He's playing it close to the chest for now. Turns out this wasn't just a random snatch and grab. The people behind it are part of something called the Brotherhood, a nasty network of gangsters, dirty cops, and crooked politicians all tied together. Rayburn's trying to convince John to head back to the States, saying enough is enough. But John's not going anywhere. Instead, he insists they take a detour to the spot where the deal went sideways. While he's there, a reporter named Mariana approaches him. She knows about the Brotherhood too and offers to help him peel back the layers of this whole mess. After that, John swings by the Ramos house to grab his stuff, but he makes one last stop in Peta's bedroom. He stands there quietly, remembering her, when Lisa walks in, completely broken. She's sobbing, totally lost. She asks him what he plans to do next. His answer? Simple. I'm gonna wipe out every single person who had anything to do with this. Lisa doesn't try to stop him. In fact, she supports it. She hands him Peta's teddy bear and kisses him goodbye. With Rayburn's help, John starts gearing up for war, and we're talking serious firepower. Mariana feeds him some intel about the guy who was tailing them in that car a while back. John tracks the guy down and sets a trap. Once he's got him cornered, he zip ties his hands to the steering wheel and calmly promises the guy he's about to enter a world of pain if he doesn't start talking. The guy has no idea who he's messing with. So John gets to work, 1 ear, 2 fingers later, and finally the guy cracks. Turns out someone high up gave orders to take Peta, but nobody knows who exactly. He tells John about a group called the Guardians, who hang out at a certain club. That's all John needs to hear. He hands the guy a cigarette, lets him light it, then pops him in the head and sends the car rolling off a cliff. At the club, John barges in like a man on a mission. He corners the bouncer, sticks a gun in his face, and demands to be taken to the back. There, he finds 3 people, 2 men and a woman. They pretend like they don't know anything, so John wastes no time. One of the guys gets a bullet, and suddenly, the others are a lot more cooperative. They spill the beans about how they got paid, using an ATM card, no less, and even hand it over. John figures out they're getting slices of the ransom money. But then he finds out something worse. Victor, the cop who was supposed to be helping negotiate Peta's release, is actually deep in the Brotherhood's pocket. John finishes off the second man. The woman, scared out of her mind, confesses that she saw Peta, alive, being shoved into a car. John's heart lifts, thinking there might still be hope. But when he finds the girl they were talking about, it's not Peta, it's another kidnapped girl entirely. Still, John gets her out of there. Afterward, he sets the whole place ablaze, literally. Flames tear through the building, and he fires shots in the air to clear the dance floor before the place explodes behind him. It's a warning to everyone involved. John Creasy is coming. Mariana meets him there, and he hands over the ATM card. She promises to find out who's been funding it. And bingo, she discovers Victor was the guy who drove Samuel to the ransom drop. Even worse, Victor isn't just a part of the Brotherhood. He's running the whole operation. Rayburn, meanwhile, is being questioned by Miguel, one of the few honest agents left. Miguel wants to know what makes John tick. Rayburn simply says he's like an artist, and this is his masterpiece. John sets up an ambush at a spot where Victor's security convoy regularly passes through. He snags an apartment with a good view, waits for the convoy, and when it rolls in, boom, he fires a rocket straight into the lead vehicle. As the rest of the guards scatter, John swoops in, mowing them down. One by one, no mercy. He grabs Victor, drags him back to the exact place the ransom deal happened, strips him down to his boxers, and lays him across the hood of his car. Then, John tells him there's a tiny explosive shoved, well, somewhere very uncomfortable, and it's set to go off in 5 minutes. Victor starts spilling everything, says he only saw a chance to get rich and took it. He even confesses that the ransom money was only partially real. Half of it was fake cash. Says Jordan, the family lawyer, had a hand in it. Victor thinks that because he talked, he'll get to walk away. Yeah, not happening. John walks away without saying another word. A few minutes later, boom, Victor's gone. John then tracks down Jordan. But when he gets there, he finds Jordan already dead. And not just dead, decapitated. Among the stuff lying around is a fax with bank account info that links Samuel directly to the mess. Now fuming, John storms back to the Ramos house. He puts both Samuel and Lisa on the spot. They better answer truthfully, or else. Samuel finally admits that Jordan had convinced him to fake a kidnapping for the insurance money to cover his father's debts. They were promised no harm would come to PETA. But when Victor interfered with the drop, everything spiraled out of control. Samuel lost it and killed Jordan. Lisa is horrified. She turns to John and basically begs him to kill her husband. If he won't do it, she will. John leaves Samuel with his gun, the same one he tried to use on himself earlier, and tells him bullets don't lie. Samuel uses it, ending his own life. Meanwhile, Mariana and Miguel track down the person behind the ATM deposits. Turns out it's the wife of a guy called The Voice, the shadowy leader of the whole operation. They raid her place, find her husband's picture, and Mariana wastes no time. She leaks it to the press. John gets the address and heads straight there. He breaks into the compound, but before he can find the guy, The Voice's brother shoots him in the chest. Still alive, John causes the brother's car to crash, then drags him back inside the house and demands a call be made to The Voice. When Daniel, The Voice, picks up, John offers him a deal, his brother, in exchange for John. Daniel makes a counteroffer, says PETA is actually still alive, and proposes a trade. PETA for both his brother and John. John calls Lisa and tells her the unbelievable news. Their daughter is still breathing. They meet at a bridge for the exchange. Lisa holds the brother at gunpoint while PETA is returned. The moment PETA and John reunite, she cries and tells him she loves him. He hugs her one last time, says he loves her too, and sends her running back to her mom. Then, without hesitation, John turns himself over. As they drive off with him, his body finally gives out from the gunshot wound, and he quietly dies. But the story doesn't end there. Miguel, the honest cop, tracks down Daniel and makes sure he doesn't live long enough to ever hurt anyone again. Thanks for hanging out. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more action-packed movie recaps. Catch you in the next one.